It is the beginning of December, which usually sees a remarkable upturn in the volume of human and vehicular traffic out there, but many Nigerians are out and about in urban centers. But it's the peak of the traditional Christmas season travel. In recent years, however, much of these journeys have been affected by the gradual but steady spike in insecurity across the country. Armed robbery and other forms of attacks on long-distance travelers usually become the norm rather than the exception at these times. What needs to be done and how Nigerians generally could shore up their security while not missing out on all the fun activities. Dr. Dickson Osajie is a security expert and Chief Executive Officer of Debris Protection Services Limited. He joins us now to have a quick conversation. Good to have you on Newsday.
Thank you all for having me. Good afternoon.
All right, so it's Dirty December.
It's going to be clean.
Very clean. We're hoping it's also a safe December.
Oh, yeah.
Can you give us some tips and tricks in order to keep ourselves safe while going out, especially late at night, the concerts and the Christmas parties?
Thank you for having me, and good afternoon, Nigerians. You see, December, the Ember months is always perceived as a threat period of time. People see Ember months as a time where the devil is most active, carrying out his activities, his ill activities. People see the Ember months whereby the criminal elements, capitalize on the vulnerability of Nigerians within the Nigerian territorial space. And most of the prevalent crime during the Ember month is kidnapping, robbery, car snatching, a lot of crime. But one of the prevalent criminal activities within this period of time is kidnapping, and kidnapping is is taking the rise in the Nigerian space, and it's really disturbing because Lagos State, for example, people don't take note of that. Maybe because of the classes of people involved. Kidnap incident takes place every day here in Lagos. Most times we hear about the high network kidnapping because there are various classes of kidnapping. We have the high network kidnapping, like Evans the kidnapper, when his victims were high network personalities. He demanded billions of naira from those guys. But one of the most terrible kidnap incidents we have in Lagos is express kidnapping, which the Nigerian police are not looking into. So I would advise the Nigerian police to look into express kidnapping. Express kidnapping, taking someone within a given time, just like, this Nigerian, this is a popular vehicle called Danfo. Most guys going to work, they are kidnapped inside a vehicle, taken to ATM, hold them back, use their ATM to collect money from them. Express kidnapping is a kidnap act that, you get what you want to get from these guys immediately, sometimes within an hour, within 2 hours. You don't keep them for so long. So it's prevalent within Lagos, and that is why we need to start looking at tactical formation for us to curtail with express kidnapping. I was discussing with the former Inspector General of Police, IGP Arase, a while ago, and I was asking him the reason why he established IRT, and he told me IRT was established on intelligence-driven base. So we need to start looking at our security agents that will curtail with most of this express kidnap in Lagos. Last week, in Enugu State, some express kidnappers were, eliminated by the Nigerian police. The reward was measurable, if you ask me. So for me, I think we need to, revamp our IRT system so that it will be intelligence-driven. Then Lagos State government should also ensure, in Lagos now, should also ensure that most of these downfall drivers are licensed. A lot of them, we need to have their particulars. Don't just hit the road because you want to make money for yourself. In other parts of the world, for you to engage in public transportation system, you need to be well vetted because human lives matters here. So we need to start looking at how we're going to curtail express kidnapping, like I rightly said.
Dixon, if I may come in here, I'm glad you mentioned the use, the word net worth, high net worth individuals. Yeah. Now, recently, not too long ago, some kidnappers operating in Lagos claimed they have shifted base from the east because the volume of revelers traveling home for this festive season has reduced recently with fewer people going back because of the activities, kidnapping people on the expressway and what have you. So what is the implication of such scenario? And I'm going to give you a specific area as the Agor Palace area where you have a high concentration of Eastern Nigerians.
Okay.
There was an incident not too long ago, several incidents involving high net worth individuals being kidnapped in that region. And what some of them are actually saying is like, okay, fine. Since you wouldn't come home, we might as well bring the franchise here to you here in Lagos. And that's, it's unfortunate, but that's what's happening. And people are afraid. Some who every season, Yam Festival or what have you in the East, and Christmas seasons, they go home. But now, I even have neighbors who, they're too reluctant to go back to the East.
What about you? Are you not traveling?
I'm not traveling. I'll be working.
All right. You see, that's where situational crime prevention comes to play. It is a terrible situation. Policing system is systematic. It's not just generic. It's systematic because if you want to go into crime prevention, you need to attack crime as it comes. So in such situation, you need to adopt what we call situational crime prevention strategy. You see, the risk implication in kidnapping is very slim, in the sense that most of these guys just have to carry out surveillance against you, on you, say, and having gathered surveillance on you, they now strike, because without knowing about you, nobody get information about you. And that's why sometimes I usually advise my clients, the internet is a beautiful place, but it's a threat market. A threat market says that most especially our ladies, with respect to them, getting a new iPhone, hey, I just got a new iPhone from my boyfriend. I just bought a new iPhone, I'm hardworking. You don't need to tell the world your source of income. You don't need to expose yourself to criminal elements. I will tell you that one general, Cynthia, the only daughter of a military general, her killer met her on Facebook. Some other criminal elements meet their targets on Facebook. That's where they go to source for information. The media is under the classes of open source intelligence, because you go into the media, you get your source of information, and you make use of it. So, like the scenario you just drafted is a disturbing one. What these guys need to also do is to check themselves as well. Regrettably, some years ago, the first Nigerian female pilot, Captain Adiza, you know about the story, was killed in her own house by her domestic pilot. She just flew in from Germany and getting back home in Bodilon, she was killed. Why was she killed? She was killed because her domestic, because if you are running from the guys on the street or the kidnapped guys in the market, in the kidnap market, what about your domestic staff? A lot of things needs to be done as well. A man was kidnapped last year. His PA sold his information to the criminals, and they gave him 10%. That is 24 million naira. When this kidnapper was arrested, he said the PA to this high network personality gave him information. So that's where information management comes to play. That's where you need to reduce the risk, because in situational crime prevention, you need to reduce the reward to criminals. You also need to increase the criminal risk. A criminal effort. If you give somebody a knife to cut down a tree from the roads, it's going to take time for him to cut that tree, maybe 2 or 3 days. That is how security plan is. Ensure the criminals labor in vain. If you don't allow them to labor in vain, they gain access to you so swiftly and they take you out. That's where your own self-assessment comes to play, because individually you need to carry out a self-assessment. What am I doing wrong? Where am I going to that people knows me? I have a friend in Abuja. I told him, I said, if you're in politics, you've been gone. You'll be a goner. You know why? A particular sport, he has been going to that particular sport for more than 11 years. Every night to just go and catch form. You don't need to allow yourself to be predictable. When you're predictable, you fall prey to the criminal element. So what the Nigerian police needs to also do, we need to start looking at technological approach in security. It surprises me that Lagos, we say is a commercial center of Nigeria, whatever the case may be. I'm still amazed the reason why we don't have technological application in the area of security management. Because if you look into technological application, it's what we call psychological deterrence, because criminals don't like to be watched. If criminals know so well that we have cameras in all the street of Agor Palace. We have cameras in Victoria Island. We have cameras in Ikoyi. We have cameras in on the mainland. No criminal wants to be watched, and that is where we need to start deploying cameras, surveillance cameras on our roads. I don't know why we're not doing that.
Well, maybe it's because we don't have that great of electricity supply. We have a lot of other issues. But you make sense. You have to make them labor in vain and put a couple of barriers between yourself and them. Dickson, we could talk for the entire day about how to keep ourselves safe, but we have to go. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon and for all of your insights as well.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.